On today's episode, we have Dr. Michael Trest, Director of Online Workforce College. He has a PhD in Instructional Technology and Design, which has allowed him to show people best practices with available tools using research-based pedagogy, applying intuitive course design, and helping learners build confidence to discover and use the best tool for whatever situation they find themselves in. His dissertation was about using gamification practices to improve online discussions, those things that everyone generally hates, so that they could be better utilized in online classes and their full potential unlocked. Recently, he was a program analyst for NASA education at Stennis, where he tracked and learned how they could improve education efforts in the future. Currently, he is leading the Online Workforce College Initiative, a collaborative effort between the 15 Mississippi community colleges to bring flexible and affordable online skills training opportunities to Mississippi residents and employers. Michael, welcome to our show. Let's talk computer science. Wow, you're in so much demand now.
Yep, especially since COVID hit.
Exactly. We know like online education, there are so many challenges to the online education system, and we need lots and lots of people like you. So tell me your story. What compelled you to become the director of Online Workforce College?
Okay, so like you mentioned, I was at Stennis Space Center working as a program analyst. We were developing NASA education initiatives to be able to take to underserved kids. And, we were looking at utilizing some online tools and some, remote learning opportunities. But then I got transferred. I transferred to Laurel, where I'm from. And I was a IT director for a local school district where they said, hey, we really need someone of your skill set to come and, kind of help change the way that we do things. We're kind of stuck in the Stone Age. And so we started pulling up, and we were utilizing Chromebooks. We were beginning to utilize Google Classroom and online education to help the school district out. And Jones College, they approached me and they said, hey, listen, we've got this initiative that we think that you might be interested in. Just come talk to us and we'll see what's going on. And basically what was going on, they had this dream. They wanted to bring workforce training to Mississippi residents who, couldn't really afford to go to a 2-year institution, or maybe they're working another job and they couldn't carve out time because, maybe they never thought college was for them, right? Or they couldn't afford college, or, they've got 2 jobs already trying to take care of their children. How in the world are they going to stop life and go to college? And so we want to bring workforce skills training to these people. Also, Mississippi employers are saying, hey, we're desperately in need of a different way to deliver training to our employees. We can't afford to send people on travel. We can't, just take the whole floor off the production line and send people to training. What can you give us? And so our president and the dean of Workforce College, they had this idea. They called it Jones College International, and that's later turned into the Online Workforce College, that we can do just that. And so they said, hey, would you join our team? And after a lot of deliberation, I came and I joined Jones College, and we kicked this thing off, and it is kind of just, it's exploded. I can't wait to tell you more about it. It's really crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, they found a really right candidate for this.
Thank you.
Tell us more about the program that you're working on and that you're going to offer to Mississippi State and change the state of the state, I guess. What is the goal of the program?
Yeah, so the way that the community colleges in our state work, we have 15 different colleges, like I said, and they all kind of subdivide the state up. And we can market to and support the students in our individual regions. And so we were planning originally to serve, 2,000 to 4,000 people in our area to deliver online workforce training to them, help our local employers to deliver this product to them. And we were kicking it off. We found kind of our niche where we could tie some of our programs and some of the courses to our 4 credit and degree programs, so that people could get a credential, and then they also have progress toward a degree, it's all these really cool things. And somebody from our community college board heard about this, and they said, hey, listen, we want you to take this statewide, and we would like all the community colleges to be involved. Can we do that? Let's do it. So overnight, we kind of expanded with the support from the Mississippi Community College Board and some other state institutions that really believed in this product, and the leadership of our president, Dr. Jesse Smith. They wanted to take this product and not just help the 2,000 to 4,000 people here in our region, but help the 250,000 people, across the state. And then COVID hit. And it wasn't just a nice to have anymore, but then it became we got to do this. There are so many people out of work, so many struggling businesses, so many people that need skills training, and they can't go to college. They can't just stop life. They're receiving unemployment benefits. And, how can we leverage those opportunities? And I say opportunities, you might see a hardship, but this is an opportunity for people to grow, opportunity for people to learn and better their lives, And so we hope that this turns into an opportunity for people to go from having no job to a good job, or having an okay job to getting a much better job by taking these skills courses, by receiving the credentials that are tied to, our institutions. And, it opens up a lot of opportunities for them down the road, whether they're, like I said, unemployed or underemployed, or just underskilled, and to walk up in their career,
So can you talk a little bit more about the programs themselves, like what kind of programs, the subjects, and also like, is it like degree programs or in preparation for certifications?
Absolutely. Yeah. So our primary focus here at the very beginning is core workforce skills, right? And so we've partnered with 180 Skills. It's they're a certified occupational school out of Indiana, and they're helping us to bring these skills that people need, that industries and companies have identified as these are the skills that we need for people to have in order to come talk to us about this job, And then we've also had discussions with Rex Academy, with other content vendors that can say, hey, listen, we've got this target audience of people that we want to reach. And so what we're trying to do, we're trying to expand and meet every need in the industry that we possibly can. So if someone comes and all they need is they're not real confident, they want to be better, suited for interviewing for a position. We have soft skill courses, how to dress for your resume. How to dress for your interview, how to fill out a resume, what to expect during an interview. We have other courses like customer service courses that, maybe an employer for a retail chain wants their employees to know how to treat customers, or they need to know how to talk on the phone, or maybe they need to know how to work in a team. We have courses for that, and they can be combined into pathways to help people get these certifications, get the skills they need, and then be successful in their jobs. But then we also have more technical classes. A lot of our core library right now, which consists of over 700 courses, focuses a lot on manufacturing, a lot on industrial training, and then basic computer skills and things of that nature. But then we're also expanding to include courses that will prepare learners for IT certifications, for sitting for your CompTIA exams, and those sorts of things, to be able to uh, open up doors for them in the future, to be able to expand their opportunities. So yeah, I think that, that just about covers our core library. And then at the same time, we are constantly talking to employers saying, what kind of training do you need? Where are the holes in your training programs right now, to see what they need, what topics they need covered. Like right now, there's a huge need for healthcare training. Not not the hands-on stuff. You can't really learn how to do surgery with people, but you can learn the basics, and then step into a more kind of lab-based training situation. And so these are the kind of needs that we're filling, and then we're always trying to find ways to help industries with the gaps that they have in their training programs.
It's not like they could get degrees, they could use this and transfer their credits to other colleges. But this is mainly, as the name says, focused on workforce.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's a good point. So when we were beginning, and our leadership pitched this idea to me, immediately I went out there and I tried to see, okay, what are other people doing? All right, well, when it comes down to it, you can take a class online, you can get a certification, and that is a very crowded space in the market. You've got your big names out there that are doing this. Some of them are doing it for free. And so we had to take a step back and say, what is the niche? How can the online workforce college break into this space and help people where they need it? And what we were finding was that there was a lot of places that were issuing these credentials, but those credentials didn't mean much. They weren't tied to an institution. They weren't tied to a college, or even some of them weren't even tied to a certifying body that meant anything to employers. Well, the community colleges in Mississippi already have this great relationship with local employers as well as international employers. And so having that ability to tie in these certifications, these skills training certifications with accredited institutions already gave us a huge leg up. But then, to your point, many of the programs that we offer, let's take, just for the sake of argument for workforce training, let's take a welding program, okay? Well, we've got welding in workforce. We also have welding in CTE. And we've crosswalked those so that if somebody takes welding courses in the online workforce college, well, you can't learn to be a welder online. You got to be able to put the mask on and, get at the welding. I don't know anything about welding, but, you can't just learn that online and say, hey, I'm a welder now. No, you have to take that next step into hands-on training. So what we've done, we've crosswalked these so that somebody can take the courses in the online workforce college, and those courses count toward a CTE degree, maybe or a 4-credit degree. So they don't have to start over. They've already got all that progress, And so let's pretend for a second that I'm going to apply for a job as a welder. And this employer has said, here are the courses you need to take to be able to come talk to me for a job. I take these online workforce classes. I get those credentials through the online workforce college. And I've also gotten college credit toward a degree. And I never even was trying for that. All I really wanted was a job. So now I've got a job, I've got credentials, and I've got college credit should I choose to do that. Now, if we change this over to IT, Jones College also has some IT career and technical classes. You can get your AA in different programs here at Jones College. And what we're doing, we're taking these IT courses and we're going to move these toward this crosswalk, right? Now you can't get your entire degree through the online workforce college, or maybe you can if if things work out the way that we hope.
Yeah.
But the idea is to say, here you go with the training you need so that you can sit for your certification exam, but then you also have progress toward a Jones College degree, which is internationally recognized and SACS accredited and all this other kind of thing. So if all they need are these simple credentials to be able to get a job, and that's all they want, that's all that you have to do. And these courses, they're like an hour, 2 hours long for a lot of them. And so, you're not talking about this huge investment. They average about $10 a piece, $10 an hour, and so they take this little short class, they get their little certification, they are better prepared for their job. But then they can be combined to get a much bigger certification. And then they can also be combined to be able to crosswalk and get a degree, if they want. So that's a long answer to that. But it's something that was really exciting that we didn't feel that really anybody was doing.
Right.
And so,
yeah, it makes
we're pretty excited about it.
Right, it makes total sense. Like it is definitely a game changer. And like even if I look at the employer perspective, like each employer having these certifications is 1 hour or 2 hour certifications rather than just send them to you, they would save so much money, and the whole department can. Yeah,
that's right. And these courses are available 24/7. They never have to, they don't have to take time off of the day, like you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
They can set aside a training lab. They can do it at their job. They can do it on their own time if they're preparing for a job. So the employers that we've talked about this with are really, really excited about this product.
Yeah. So I'm going to switch gears towards the IT stuff. So since especially you're so focused on workforce, and IT in general has a lot of jobs and they're high paying and high demand area, and it's only gonna grow, it's only going to increase every day. And I would like to narrow down to cybersecurity, where it has 0% unemployment rate. And just last week I saw a government posting where they would, if a student has a certification, they do not need any experience or any degree, it'll start at 65K. So with that, I know you are starting this big program. So what do you guys think about cybersecurity certification programs, and are you offering, or in the future, what's your general thoughts here?
Yeah. So as we approached kind of the content areas, we were talking with like I said, the employers, and we talked with the community college board, and we were kind of polling and see where everybody was. We did some studies on employment in Mississippi to see, what the needs were. And like you're saying, those IT fields, specifically cybersecurity, programming, and, the like that, they're all growing really fast. And then, like we said, COVID hit. And so now you have all of these people who are out of jobs, they're out of work, and they need to do something that they can work from home. They need to do something that they maybe require a lot more technical skills than they currently have. And what's nice about our program is that it kind of takes people where they are and moves them toward these higher paying jobs, such as cybersecurity. We've talked with you guys, with Cisco Academy, with some others of some really big names that would allow us to get in there and help people where they are. Now, what I really liked about y'all's program is that y'all did the same thing. Y'all wanted to meet people where they were to be able to help to move them toward this opportunity. And so you've got these people at home. They want to do something with their lives. They want to be able to provide for their family. They may have an interest in computers. Where do we start? Well, with the online workforce college, what we're doing, we're combining everything into pathways. You start here, then you gain the knowledge, and you can work toward these much more technical fields. And then partnering with great people like Rex Academy, we decide to move them from knowing here's some basic computer skills. And then if this is an interest to you, then here are some different pathway options. Are you interested in cybersecurity? Yes, let's do that. Let's have a further conversation. Is this something that you need to go to the actual school for? Well, this is something that Jones College offers. If not, then maybe we can take this online and we can work through online programs of that nature. And so we're trying to give people as many different options and as they possibly can to be able to achieve their goals, specifically with IT and cybersecurity.
So you guys are gonna offer like welding, IT, all the courses, cybersecurity, as a pathway, so that everything is clubbed into pathways, so that students can either take one or two courses, or they decide to work on a pathway to change their career direction.
That's right. That's right.
So can you tell me a little bit more about what stage are you in? Like, is it open for signups, or it's going to be open in January or February? Where are you guys?
I'm glad you asked that. So we, over the past, 5-6 months, we have really taken and shifted, like I said, our focus from being this Jones College only to the entire state. And so that's obviously taken a lot of time to kind of reorganize our system, rework how we were doing things, and then create the agreements and those sorts of things from the different colleges, so that we're all on the same page. And so the idea, we're supposed to be piloting early in January with select schools across the state, and then throughout Q1 of 2021, we're going to be bringing in more schools to be able to then offer this product across the state for learners and employers. And then who knows where we go from there. Mm-hmm. So currently, people can go to our website, msowc.org, and they can see kind of what we're doing and sign up for it's a forum that they can sign up for updates and those sorts of things when we launch our social media, or when we launch in their region. Hopefully that people can kind of get interested and get informed about the product.
Okay, so the website is MSOWC. It's like Mississippi State Online Workforce College.org. And the people who are curious, they can sign up. And is it ready to sign up for the classes yet, or right now?
No, not quite just yet. The program isn't quite ready for people to come sign up yet, but it's getting very, very close. And so if they want to go to the website and fill out the form for more information, they can do that. And then, like I said, early Q1, we're going to start opening up the different storefronts to people in our state, so they can sign up for classes and they can take them through the different local community colleges.
Okay, awesome. So, I mean, this is a big deal, working for like the entire state. You guys have started with one college, and before even you got started, 15 community colleges, and you're going to work on adding on more colleges. I think it'll be a huge game changer for the colleges, for the employers, and obviously for the students. What is the final message that you want to send to your community?
Get excited. This is not, we're not trying to replace traditional training methods. And a lot of people are kind of scared, especially in workforce. They're scared of online training. They're like, well, you can't do that online. You can't learn how to weld online. And there's a lot of truth to that. But what we're trying to do, we're trying to give people options, people that are trapped. If you're working at the dollar store and you work 12 hours a day, how in the world are you going to go to college to get a better job? You can't do it. But what we're hoping to do is to be able to say, here you go. Here is something that you can afford, that's flexible enough to meet your needs, to give you the opportunity to go get a better job. Whether that's, at the factory down the street, or if you're interested in computers, to beginning to learn about IT through an accredited institution, and not just just going up and looking up on YouTube, but having this pathway to be able to say, I am stuck here, but I want to go and I want to get a better job, and we can help you do that. And so that's what we're really excited about. That's what we want people to get excited about, and just to know that this is coming. And we're not the only ones doing this. I know that there's a lot of other people around the country that are doing similar efforts, but for Mississippi, we're really excited because nobody's quite doing this exact same thing for this group of people. And so I hope that it's going to help a lot of people. I hope that more people will hear about us through mediums like this and get excited and get on board, and we can just meet more and more segments of the community to be able to help people to improve their lives. And thank you for letting us talk about this. I'm excited to be able to get our message out and to be able to tell people about this exciting thing that we're doing. And hopefully it's going to be big.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be big.
Yeah, totally agree. One thing I could describe what you guys are doing is big and exciting. And I'm sure you guys have busy 2021 and probably for another 10 years. So good luck with everything.
Thank you.
For you and your team. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Trest. I thoroughly enjoyed learning about your program. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sandy. Sure appreciate it.